Women are told, especially women who are very aggressive, are told to be soft, to be kind, to be caretakers, and to be aggressive or to be intense are bad qualities to have in women. And boxing tells you the opposite. Boxing is the conduit.
Yeah.
Boxing is, of course, we're teaching our girls boxing, and they all come into it saying, like, I want to learn boxing to learn self-defense. And I'm like, okay, awesome, that's great. But in my mind, I always know, I'm like, you're going to learn so much more than self-defense. I'm going to teach you a strength about yourself that you didn't recognize was there. You're going to learn how to take that strength and apply it to things outside of boxing. I think now is when people are paying attention and understanding the importance of elevating these voices and elevating women's power, or especially programs that elevate the power of women of color specifically, because most of my girls are girls of color. Some of them come from immigrant backgrounds. So I wouldn't say that it's specifically important now, but it's on people's minds now. So I was about to turn 30, and I had been working in television production, and a friend of mine said, Cristina, what are you doing with your life? What do you mean? I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a great time. I'm like, yeah, but what are you doing? How are you contributing? I'm like, oh, fuck me up. If, maybe if I hadn't been turning 30, I would have been like, fuck you, Joe. But I was turning 30 and having an existential crisis and recognized that reality television wasn't the legacy that I wanted for myself. A lot of what I do is inspired by my grandmothers and their tenacity and their strength. They grew up in a very different time than what we are in. They were incredibly strong, and they used their strengths to the best that they could, and still they couldn't really access the potential of that strength in the way that I can. And I think that it would do them a disservice if I sort of just accepted things as they are. So a lot of the fight that I put up, and a lot of the pushback that I give, and the way that I advocate for women's strength, specifically women of color, is because of how I saw them struggle and the barriers that I saw them face. I mean, Oprah. Oprah's everything. So my experiences as a woman of color, so it's a little bit different. You start off as this magical unicorn of like, we are looking for diversity and your diversity matters. And then you give your opinions on how what they're doing is not actually helping communities of color. And then you're the squeaky wheel. And then you become the problem employee because you're pushing against something they feel is uncomfortable and divisive. And then eventually it becomes a place where you're silenced, and then you leave. And part of what I do is always look at the room and say, who's not here? And what am I doing that creates that? If you are attending a panel, or if there's a panel that you're interested in and you don't see that parity, call them out on it. It's really important to call people out on that bullshit. Am I speaking when I should be passing the mic? And I think that that's a lot of what white women should be doing as well. Like, am I speaking when I should be passing the mic? Are the lessons that I'm learning about activism, am I using it to elevate other white women, or am I using it to elevate women of color? I really hope that the girls learn to love boxing, obviously, and I hope ultimately they learn to push themselves when things are uncomfortable, when things are difficult. That's definitely one of the rules that we have within the class. The only rule that we have beyond show up is you can't say I can't. You have to say I try. I'll try. And I hope that that's something that they apply to everything else outside of boxing.